Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. It is a great pleasure to be here. I also, before all of the applause breaks that you will certainly do for me, I want to start with some applause again for DOT, to Administrator Burkle, to Rebecca, to Director Davis. I think, what do we hear? 5 straight years of surpassing goals. That's phenomenal. That kind of thing doesn't happen by accident, and I know everyone in here appreciates it, and I certainly do as well. I don't need to tell you again my name. I'm up there on the screen, and I can see myself here again. But on behalf of the City of Milwaukee, on behalf of Mayor Cavalier Johnson and my Department of City Development, it is my great honor to join you all here today at the 40th Annual Wisconsin DOT Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Workshop and Networking Summit. I do want to, beyond the appreciation for the WisDOT team, I want to also offer my sincere appreciation for the Evers administration in general, as well as, again, DOT, the Office of Business Opportunity and Equity Compliance, for the opportunity just to be up here today and to address all of you. This event has been one of my favorites, really, for years, so it's really extra special for me to be keynoting today. It's also special to be here with my Prism Technical family, as many of you know, and my family, my parents, Randy and Joanne. It's not a lot of times I get a chance to ask people to applaud them. Can we get a hand for Randy and Joanne Crump? I obviously, everything I am is because of them, and I appreciate that so much, but I also learned and worked with them and the Prism Technical team for a number of years, so it's special to be here. I know the level of effort it takes to put on events like this, to bring them to life, and that effort does not go unnoticed. These summits and others like it are at the forefront of expanding opportunity in our region, as well as expanding the perception of what is possible and who it is who can make things happen. I also want to say out loud what many in this room and elsewhere are feeling. The landscape has shifted. Federal programs are evolving. The administrator spoke about this as well. Funding timelines are moving. Requirements are changing. Costs are rising. Workforce challenges are ongoing. And so this speech is up to the minute. Just last night, our country's elected leader stood in front of the nation, and he was applauded for ending DEI programs just last night. So it is an understatement to say that small businesses, especially DBE, SBE, women and minority-led businesses, you're navigating tremendous uncertainty right now. And despite the verifiable fact that centuries of maltreatment and codified discrimination were not entirely undone or fully mitigated by a few decades of entirely reasonable and entirely legal goals and preferences, the new normal has put a hold on many of these efforts. Given all of this, I know that you are balancing a lot, all while trying to grow, and I want you to know that we see this and we see you. At the municipal level, we're navigating that same uncertainty. The mere words that I'm saying right now, say them in the wrong environment, say them to the wrong folks, could result in tremendous additional scrutiny on everything we do, again, despite them being mere words. And I think inherently, you know why. It's because if a true level playing field is ever constituted and sustained, those who've attempted to hoard power, authority, and resources might not be so comfortable and so entrenched. Now, I could go on about this, but I do want to get on track. As I said, at the municipal level, we too are navigating uncertainty. We're working through shifting funding streams, long-term infrastructure commitments, public and private development negotiations, neighborhood investments, and passionate community expectations. What I can stand here and tell you today is that despite all this uncertainty, opportunities still exist. And in some areas, they're even expanding. Yes, they are expanding in this very moment. So this moment needn't be about whether opportunities are coming, but instead about whether we are continuing to build pathways and avoid the creation of new obstacles so that you can access those opportunities and we can help you. At the City of Milwaukee and at municipalities all over the state, we have a big responsibility in front of us. If we want diverse firms to compete and win, we cannot just hope projects in the market sort themselves out. We must reduce and eliminate barriers, improve communications, and build ramps onto public infrastructure work and vertical construction. In Milwaukee, we're actively working to streamline processes to improve communications about bids, RFPs, and contracting opportunities. We're working to engage diverse voices earlier in the planning process, to be a part of determining what we're going to do next, and we're working to expand small business pathways, from our work at city development to our partners in neighborhood services, public works, health, purchasing, compliance and engagement. We are all doing this work. And it comes from the top down. Mayor Johnson understands that Milwaukee is stronger when everyone in the city can see themselves working on and in the projects that are built in Milwaukee. And just like OBOC, just like DOT, we are intentional in this work. One of the tools we use in the city's small business is the city's small business enterprise, or SBE program. Someone out here, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but someone said we're kind of the gold standard. Another state employee said that, so I appreciate that state employee for saying that what we're doing with certification, we got it right. SBE certification can open doors to becoming a subcontractor on bigger jobs that may be less accessible to contractors who are new to the city's bidding process. Again, it is an advantage when you have that SBE certification because you have an opportunity, maybe more opportunities to work on city projects, to understand those processes, to be an important part of a winning team. It's a real way to expand opportunities for those contractors who qualify and to connect them with economic development and public works projects where the City of Milwaukee requires developers or GCs to hire these specific firms. It's one of the ways we use policy to promote participation. And something else that you ought to know is that competition in Milwaukee is often less competitive than our surrounding municipalities. So if you're doing work in the Milwaukee metro area, you have a greater chance of winning a bid that you submit in Milwaukee than elsewhere. There are a number of factors for this, but other cities routinely receive more bidders per project. The bottom line is that you have a better chance of being the winning bidder in Milwaukee, and that does translate to real opportunity. We need your expertise, we need your work ethic, and as more projects break ground, we need our small minority and women-owned firms to be well-positioned to step into them. And I can assure you that my team and I are working hard every day to get more things built in the city. Milwaukee is not slowing down. We're making long-term infrastructure commitments from roads and public works to housing and industrial redevelopment. These are all multi-year priorities. We're using the success from our building projects that are, we have a number of tax incremental financing districts that are doing amazing, that are well beyond our projections. We're funneling those dollars into more infrastructure work. We use these tools, we use commercial corridor grants to help bring projects to life that otherwise the city would not be able to afford. These are projects that strengthen neighborhoods, they attract investment, and they create family-sustaining jobs. As these projects move from vision to foundation to ground up, contractor capacity is beyond critical. This past year, we recently celebrated a major milestone at the former Northridge Mall site in Milwaukee. Demolition has been completed, it was on time, it was on budget, and the cleared site is now ready for the next phase of opportunity. By the way, we could not have done that without the Evers administration and WEDC. Shout out to all the WEDC folks in the room. Thank you again, State of Wisconsin and the entire team, in the administration. The Northridge site is the largest contiguous development site in the city. We recently presented a public redevelopment report outlining potential future uses, and we're focusing on our efforts on pursuing a catalytic anchor user. So what that means for us is we are looking for that user that is going to generate regular activity at the site, but is also going to attract additional investment in the surrounding area and redefine the identity of the area. So we're looking for someone for a project that will build there, but will also create additional opportunity for building. That is how we are thinking of things in the city of Milwaukee. How does one opportunity beget the next opportunity? And we're extremely proud of what's already happened at the site. Nearly 40 companies contributed to the demo effort. Over half of them were based in Milwaukee. All but one of those 39 companies were from Southeast Wisconsin. Additionally, half of the firms were certified SBs or women-owned or minority-owned firms. This is inclusive investment and a testament to both intentionality as well as the power of partnerships. The next phase is going to require even more of that. That's why events like today and tomorrow are absolutely necessary to have the conversations that are needed to ensure voices are identified, to create more opportunities for all businesses, and ensuring we have the contractors and the workers who are ready to do the work with us, and that you have the necessary support to get that work done and to make it be additive to your company and not just more stress to you. So speaking of support, which we are trying to give our contractors, we know that one of the most fundamental needs of residents is housing security. This year, Mayor Johnson has declared 2026 the year of housing, and this is more than just a slogan. It reflects a clear understanding that housing stability, access to public services, and neighborhood investments are vital to an economically thriving city. Businesses thrive when they have access to employees and customers. Increasing housing diversity and supply supports both of those things. Several initiatives are driving this work. Raise and Revive is our effort to increase capacity to demolish blighted buildings and prepare sites for new constructions. It addresses housing shortages. It opens up land for productive use. We need demo contractors. We need site prep, builders, designers, and more for that work. We also have our Homes MKE program, through which we're renovating and developing housing across multiple neighborhoods. Building contractor capacity has been essential to that effort and will be essential to additional programs, additional projects we'll be doing down the road. The majority of the 14 development teams that are participating in Homes MKE are emerging developers and developers of color, and again, this is intentional. Those developers need generals, they need subcontractors, firms that are ready, willing, able, responsive, and reliable. Beyond these targeted construction efforts, our housing element plan serves as the city's vision for increasing housing choice, access, and growth. It recommends zoning updates that allow more housing across neighborhoods, and it includes complementary policies to support affordability and home ownership. More housing types, that means more projects equals more contracts. And it means more work for Milwaukee workers, which is so important in this ever-changing work world. Milwaukee, we all know this, Milwaukee is a city of makers. We've got deep industrial roots, but work looks a lot different than it once did. If we want workers to thrive, we need to multiply opportunities for those workers. We need to be open for business, and we're uniquely positioned to lead in that regard. We've carried out a citywide industrial land analysis, which reflects our shared understanding of the current industrial sector, but also a roadmap for future decision making. As new advanced manufacturing and industrial projects unfold, they will require site development, utilities, roadway improvements, facility construction, and long-term maintenance, something all of you are familiar with, all of these different areas. That is real opportunity. Now, you all know the old saying that the only thing constant is change. So as we take on inevitable change, how do we stay ready? By expanding our quiver of arrows to reach more targets. Where once we only financed affordable housing projects in the city of Milwaukee, now we help finance workforce housing. We help finance commercial conversions of either obsolete or empty office buildings. Where once the construction of dozens of single-family homes with city financing was unfathomable. How can we do that across multiple sites? The risk is too great. We have now done multiple such projects with more on the horizon. When COVID saw many downtowns lose business across the country, Milwaukee bucked the trend and attracted multiple businesses to downtown Milwaukee. That's how we stay ready, by never standing still and assuming we've got it all figured out. Now, how do you stay ready? What does this look like? It doesn't mean overextending or chasing every bid or burning out yourself or your teams. Staying ready does mean, however, being present at opportunities, like being in the room here today. This has value. Building strategic partnerships before the RFP drops, attending pre-bid meetings, asking questions early, tracking pipeline forecasts, keeping your certifications current. You heard earlier today that the opportunity is there again, and it also takes a lot of collaboration. Large primes need reliable partners. Emerging firms need experienced mentors. In cities like Milwaukee, we critically need both. If firms are stretched so thin that one delay or gap puts them at risk, we cannot realistically build a resilient ecosystem. So let me circle back to this. Partnerships, paths forward. We are actively engaging with the community to spread the word about bidding opportunities, RFPs. We want diverse voices in planning. We are committed to reducing barriers wherever we can. Everyone in this room can be a partner in building the city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin's future. The landscape may be shifting, but our foundation remains strong. As Commissioner of the Department of City Development, I am committed to helping business owners and workers lead the way, to contribute and to benefit from all of the opportunities that growth will present. I applaud each and every one of you for seeking new opportunities, for embracing the inevitable challenges and change, and for coming together today, tomorrow, to collaborate and to contemplate. I encourage you to consider the city of Milwaukee as a partner in helping you achieve your own future goals for growth. I'm excited to face the future with you. Thank you.